Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Hello everyone and welcome to your English class. In our lesson today, we will take the second part from the expansion, units 1 to 4 in your books, page 64 and 65. All you need for the lesson today is your books, page 64 and 65, a sheet of paper and a pen to take down your notes. So let's get started in here. We'll start with the idea of a chant. This one is actually a chant. What do we mean when we say a chant? Chant means it is a repeated rhythmic phrase, typically one shouted or sung in unison by a crowd. So it is actually a song, one is going to sing it, and we will have another group who are going to chant or repeat it after them. The words will rhyme with each other. It is, when you are listening to them, you will feel that they are similar to each other. In here, each chant, just like as if it were poetry, we're having here lines. We can count that each one of these, we call it a line. So how many lines? We're having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines in each one group. So it consists of 8 lines. And you can notice in here, if you can hear to it, how does it rhyme? What words that are similar, they are rhythmic with each other? Listen to it and tell about the words that are rhymes together.
If I were a millionaire. If I had $1 million, I would be a millionaire. I would spend a lot on diamonds that would sparkle everywhere. I would buy my friends all presents. I would treat them to a trip. I would buy myself a mansion. I would drive a brand new car.
So in here, each 2 lines will rhyme together. So we're having, if I had $1 million, it rhymes actually with diamonds. All of them ends with a S sound. We're having millionaire. It rhymes with everywhere. We're having as well as, we're having the mansion, and we're having present. So some of the words will rhyme. When you hear them, they sound similar to each other. Okay, let's look at the whole picture. We're having on page 64. What is the title for this chant? The title, you will find it on the top in there. The title is actually, If I Were a Millionaire. So actually, the writer or the poet is trying to imagine, what if I won $1 million or won $1 million? What can you see in the pictures? Look at the whole 2 pages and tell. The pictures will show us some people going on a trip. They are traveling somewhere not in their city, and we're having presents, gifts. He's going to give these gifts because he's a rich person and he's going to go all over the world. Okay, how about, what do you think the chant is about? You are now about to hear the whole chant. We're having the 3 groups all together, and you will come up with the main idea. What is the main idea of the whole thing, of the whole chant? Let's listen together.
If I were a millionaire. If I had $1 million, I would be a millionaire. I would spend a lot on diamonds that would sparkle everywhere. I would buy my friends all presents. I would treat them to a trip. I would buy myself a mansion. I would drive a brand new car. Would you sail with me if I sailed the 7 seas? Would you come with me if I took a trip to Mars? And would you stand by me if I lost all that I had? Would you still be my friend through good and bad? 'Cause I wouldn't have a house. There would be no Cadillacs. There would be no trips to Mars. There'd be pizza and chalk cookies. If I lost all that I had, would you still be my good friend? And for better and for worse, would you like a wish to send?
Okay, so the main idea of the chant in here, the speaker, the chanter, and the poet are all speaking, imagining, what if I won $1 million? What if I were a rich person? The things that I would do. What if I lost all the money and I am poor, I had none of the money? who would stay with me? Would you, my friend, stay with me, or you wouldn't? Now, in the following page, we're having the vocabulary. You are about to hear the chant one more time, and this time you will answer. Find the words in the chant that have this meaning. A word that means a very wealthy person. Another word that means stones used in jewelry. Another word that means a large, impressive house. And the last one, a famous car brand. So listen again and try to find these words. Let's listen together.
If I were a millionaire. If I had $1 million, I would be a millionaire. I would spend a lot on diamonds that would sparkle everywhere. I would buy my friends all presents. I would treat them to a trip. I would buy myself a mansion. I would drive a brand new car. Would you sail with me if I sailed the 7 seas? Would you come with me if I took a trip to Mars? And would you stand by me if I lost all that I had? Would you still be my friend through good and bad? 'Cause I wouldn't have a house. There would be no Cadillacs. There would be no trips to Mars. There'd be pizza and chalk cookies. If I lost all that I had, would you still be my good friend? And for better and for worse, would you like a wish to send?
So, what word means a very wealthy person? Someone who is rich. Someone who's rich, we're having a millionaire. Someone with millions. How about a stone that is used in jewelry? When you're buying earrings or rings, we're having a stone in here. What do we call it? It is a diamond. Diamonds are very expensive stones. Then we're having a large, impressive house. A house, however, this is a huge, big one. Castle. We can say mansion. A mansion is a very large, fancy house. How about a famous car brand? A name you will find it in capital letter. It is the Cadillac. It means a fancy car, famous fancy car brand. The following in B, find 5 words or phrases in the chant that indicate a rich lifestyle. Things that rich people would do. What are they? Maybe about buying cars, giving presents, gifts. What are the words or the phrases that indicate, give you the sense that this person is rich, wealthy, and millionaire? We're having in here diamonds, expensive stones. Then brand new car, a car that is new, brand new, the latest model. Also, we're having Cadillac, a brand, the brand of the car. And we're having a mansion. The mansion is a very huge and big house. And we're having sailed the 7 seas. It indicates that going all over the world, traveling all around the world. The 7 seas, going from one place to the other to travel around the earth, around the world. Now also in the chant, try to find an expression in the chant that means through good and bad. Would you stay with me in good or bad, through the good and bad situation, when I am a millionaire, or poor when I lost my millions? There is an expression in the last group of lines. It is actually for better and for worse. For better and for worse. Would you stay with me for better and worse, or only stay with me if I were a millionaire? Okay, now go back to the chant again and try to find the answers for these 4 questions. Where would the person live if he were a millionaire? The place. Where would he sail? Would he travel? What would he and his friend eat if they were poor? The food that they will eat. What does he want to know from his friends? He's asking his friends some questions. Read the chant again and try to find the answers. Number 1. Where would the person or the writer live if he were a millionaire? Try to find a name of a place. He would live in a mansion. If he were a millionaire, he wouldn't live in a very small place. His residence will be mansion, a fancy house. Where would he sail? Try to find the word sail. When I sail, he would sail the 7 seas. It means all over the world. I will go to every country in the world. Then, what would he and his friend eat if they were poor? Go to the last part about being poor, about poverty. The things that we will eat only, they will eat pizza and chalk cookies. Things that are less expensive than the food we will eat as being rich. What does he want to know from his friends? He's asking his friends one question one time after the other. What is this question? He wants to know if he would still be his friend if he had no money. Would you be my friend if I were poor, or if I were poor or a millionaire, or just if I were a millionaire? So it is about the idea, what would happen if I were a millionaire, and what could happen if I lost these millions? Okay, now let's go to your books on page 117. Here, complete the sentences, use because or so. Before we're doing this, let's go back and revise the idea of so and because. These two sentences are having the same meaning. I went to bed early. Why? Because I was tired. At the beginning, I was tired. Then, as a result, I went to bed early. So, being tired, then followed by going to bed early. And we can change the order of the sentence. I was tired, so I went to bed early. This is the use for so and because. Based on this one, let's do the exercise in here. Complete the sentences, use because or so. Number 1, he is going to the gym today. He is not going to the gym today. Why? He's sick. So we will use because. Number 1, he's sick. As a decision, he is not going to go to the gym. Number 2, my father has insomnia. Insomnia, not being able to sleep. He hasn't slept a lot this week. So we're having here so. He hasn't slept. Why? Because he is having insomnia. Abdullah has a lot of stress at work. His boss doesn't give him reasonable deadlines. Here we will use because. Because of the unreasonable deadline, he is having too much stress. Ahmed should call his mother. His mother knows that he will be getting home late, so she would know. Calling, to tell. You are interested in fitness. You want to stay healthy because you want to stay healthy. Here I'm telling the result is being healthy. I just bought some new flip-flops, shoes. I am going to the beach next week because I am going to the beach next week. So doing something for another reason. Just put it in your mind and think about the two actions, which one happened first and which one will happen later. If you want more information, you can refer to page 6 in your books. Okay, then speaking about reflexive pronouns. What are the reflexive pronouns? We use the reflexive pronouns like he, himself, she, herself, it, itself, and the others until I, myself, when we are having the subject is the object. So I can see what? I can see myself. The subject doing the object is the same like the object. He hurt home, hurt himself. He hurt him. So when the subject is the object, we will use the reflexive pronoun as if you are reflecting yourself. And also if someone is doing something with no help. I did the homework myself. I fixed my phone myself. No one helped me. These are the reflexive pronouns. On page 117, we're having exercise B. We're having Abdullah burn hot stove cooking eggs this morning. Let's try to come up with sentences using reflexive pronouns. He, himself, they, themselves. So we can say in here that Abdullah burned himself on the hot stove while cooking eggs this morning. So here we're having Abdullah and himself. Saeed and Fahad, so they slip ice, luckily not hurt. So what did they do? Saeed and Fahad slipped on the ice, but luckily they didn't hurt themselves. Themselves, which is actually Fahad and Saeed, both of them. Next, we're having number 3. Hamid teach French last year. Here, what did he do? Hamid taught himself French last year. So it was self-learning. We don't have a teacher. He taught himself. So we're having here Hamid taught whom? Taught himself. Noura see in a lot of photos take Jennifer at the park. So Noura so herself. Noura saw herself in a lot of photos that Jennifer took at the park. Here is Noura and we're having herself. She looked at the photos. Photos of whom? Of Noura. Noura herself. If you need more practice, you can refer to your books on page number 6. Okay. Then speaking about although, in spite of, and as soon as. All of them are giving you the sense that we're having 2 actions and we will connect them all together. The usage is different, however, the meaning is the same. Okay, so we're here. We can look at this picture and we can say that it was raining and she went out. 2 different actions. I will say that if it rains, everyone will stay at home. However, she went out, the weather was raining. It was raining. I will use this time although. Although it was raining, she went out. I started with the although, so the sentence will here in the middle. We will have after this clause, I will use a comma. Although it was raining, she went out. It was raining, a complete sentence, subject and verb. Also I can say, even though it was raining, she went out. Even though it was raining, she went out. The same thing. They are equal to each other. And also, I can use in spite of. But in spite of gives you the same meaning with different usage. In spite of the rain. You will only use the subject in spite of the rain, in spite of the weather. Then comma, we will use she went out. Okay, now let's try to use although, in spite of, and as soon as. Tim didn't wear a coat. The cold weather. Which one can we use in here? We will use in spite of because we're having here the cold weather. Because the weather, we can say although it was cold. Next, his carelessness, Jerry didn't get hurt. In here we can use in spite of his carelessness. Also, we will use the in spite of because it's only a noun or the subject. He tried very hard. Alan couldn't pass the driving test. Here we're having he tried. A complete clause, subject and verb. Although he tried hard, however, he couldn't pass the test. Tried, not passing. I will call you the moment I get to the gym. As soon as. Getting to the gym, calling you. Then, Ali still talks to Khalid. They are not friends anymore. Here we're having although not in spite of because we're having a subject and a verb. Next, Robert was late for school. He set his alarm for 6 a.m. Here, although he set his alarm for 6 a.m. So here we're having although because it is followed by these 2, which is the subject and the verb. Okay? If you need more practice on the although and even though and in spite of, you can refer to your books, page 34. Okay. Then we're having to write sentences using I wish. The last unit we have focused on the idea of wishing. And the main idea was to wish if I were a millionaire, I have $1 million. So, if I won $1 million, I would be rich. If I won $1 million, I might travel around the world. And if I won a million, I could buy a fancy car. However, in reality, I don't have a million. I wish I won. So for every wish or imaginary situation, we will use the simple past. Even with wish I won. And the result clause for the F in here, these F clauses, it will be whether would, might, or could. Would, might, or could, to tell that this one is an imaginary situation, it is not real. Let's try to do the following exercise. E, it is about wish, using the simple past in here. So, write sentences using I wish. Ali doesn't have time to play tennis every day. What would he wish for? We will say that Ali wishes that he had time to play tennis every day. So Ali wishes and have will be had. Ahmed has to go to work this afternoon. This is reality. How about wish? We will say that Ahmed wishes that he didn't have to go to work. Notice we will use didn't have to go to work this afternoon. Abdullah doesn't speak English and he wishes that he did. So we will say Abdullah wishes he spoke English. And we can say that Abdullah wishes that he could speak English. My brother won't lend me his new computer. And I wish that he did. So I wish my brother would let me his new computer. Will not, would let me. Then, if you want to refer to more exercise, you can go to page 48. The following, complete the sentences with would, might, or could. This time we're having all of them are F clauses, and the answer will be whether would, might, or could. It depends on your choice. If I won the reading contest, there is a game about reading. What if I won this game or contest? I would buy a new computer. Would and buy. Next, if school starts at 10 o'clock, what if school starts at 10? What might happen? I could have more sleep. I could sleep more. How about if my brother had a new car? He doesn't have. He might let me drive it. Might, maybe. How about if Hussein could live in a foreign country, choose a different country to live in? He might live in Italy. So in here, he might live in Italy. So we're having could, might, and also might. It depends on your word choice, based on your choice. You can refer to page 48 for more information. Now in your books 121, look at the photo and give advice to the person in the photo. Let's try to look at the picture together. We're having here someone who's driving the car. He is using his phone in here, and also he is not fastening his seat belt. Let's try to give him some advice. We would say, it is best if you don't use your phone while you are driving. It is really dangerous. This is a kind of advice. 2, I would say, why don't you tell the caller you can't speak right now and that you will call back later? Notice why don't you? We have used a suggestion. Why don't you do this thing? I also can say, don't you feel it is safer to keep your eyes on the road? Also a suggestion. Don't you feel like it is better to put your eyes on the road? And as well as I can use try not to resolve issues while driving. It's very distracting. Try not to do something, do another thing. Try to solve your problems later on, not while you are in the car. You can come up with any other sentence that you believe that is suitable. Page 122, we're having here, you will look again to the pictures. Here, J, look at the people in the picture and write words about their feelings in the chart. So how do you think that they feel? Let's look into here. I believe that they are happy. Maybe They are excited. They have won, maybe enthusiastic. They are satisfied. Also, they are rewarded, maybe they have won. They are confident. They are determined and ecstatic. They are extremely delighted, so happy. Let's try to come up with words that they are saying. They could have said, let's imagine, maybe they will say, yes, we are the best. It's all been worth it. Or they would say, I can't believe it. We have won. Someone could say, I knew we would do it. I told you all, but you wouldn't listen. Or someone would say, I'm just so happy. This is a great moment that I will remember for the rest of my life. Or maybe we have made it, we did it, or whatever. People who have won. Okay, I guess that is it for the lesson today, and thank you so much for your time.